second. You can see a leadoff batter get on in the fourth inning and see a coach bunt. It's just a different style. The SEC is more of a slug style than what you see out of California teams.
The ball on the strike to count the Baloo. Here's the pitch to Max. Swing and a miss. Over that is he's trying to draw the measure of that breaking ball. It's 1-2. Well, and I imagine the Big 12 is a little bit of a mixture, I guess, of both.
You're right. I mean, there's some coaches. I mean, you have Josh Holliday club is going to be mashers. They're going to play SEC style. They're going to
1-2 pitch. That's down in the field turf for a ball.
But when you play, if you play TCU in the Big 12, that was the style that they would bunt, steal, run. They played just a little bit different style. You play Texas Tech, it's wide open, swing the bat, let's get after it.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Max Baloo. The pitch. That's low and away. Kansas, we would see them more butt the runners up, try to advance.
Now, and Pete Hughes at Kansas State is a slug 'em because they play on a slug 'em ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, we went there last year. It's going to get out of the park.
Full count to Max Baloo. Off from first, swing and a miss, a strikeout. The throw bounces in the center field, but not far enough to allow Mendoza to advance. And while Baloo strikes out, Ethan Mendoza is 3 for 3 this weekend in stolen bases against Santa Clara. So for all those throws over to first, Mendoza steals second anyway on out number 1.
He didn't get a great jump. When you're running 3-2, your first job, don't get picked off. So at that point, he was making sure the ball was coming to the plate, and the throw would have had him if it would have been on time. It was just out in front in the dirt, actually in the turf, because there is no dirt.
Now coming to play is the guy whose bat has truly come to life as we thought it would, Jalen Flores, who's batting .356 with 2 homers and 10 runs batted in. Swings here and drives one out to left, and that will 1 hop, 2 hops off the fence. Coming in to score is Mendoza. Jalen Flores continues to swing that bat well. He went 2 for 5 last night, and he has an RBI double to put Texas in front 1-0.
He's found himself and off to a slow start, but boy, these last 2.5 weeks, he has been really swinging the bat well. He got one of those pitches up, and you don't miss them. If you get one up in the zone, you got to take advantage of it. He was out in front, and it's telling you a little bit about that breeze. That breeze really knocked this ball down, and it didn't get all the way to the track, and he hit it better than that, I can tell you.
So it's 1-0 Texas, and Adrian Rodriguez in as the designated hitter again today as he was last night. First pitch to A-Rod is down and in for a ball. Last night, Rodriguez 0 for 4 with a strikeout for the season. Adrian's batting .373, 3 homers, 8 runs batted in for the freshman at a Flower Mound high in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The switch hitter at 6'2" and 210 pounds. The stretch of the pitch, and that one is in there for a called strike. The count is even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The pitch swung on, and that is going to be flared foul down the right field line. So we're told, Keith, that pitch that Martinez is throwing is described as a split change. Remember, we used to see Jessen Merle throw that for the Longhorns back in the national championship year of 02.
Its rotation is inside, and it's a split change, and it runs away from the left-handed hitters just like he's throwing a screwball, and his delivery is so far up top on it that he's turning that hand over as he does it. I mean, you can slow it down and really see it.
1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Here's the 1-2. And that's off the plate. 2-2 the count. So that is Flores now with 11 extra base hits in the last 6 ball games. Jalen stands at second base. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch is outside, so count will run full. And here at 18 pitches in the first inning, Martinez still trying to record the second out. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. The payoff. And that's downstairs for ball 4. And very patient at bat worked by Rodriguez. You know, Jim Schlossnagle's clubs have led the country in pitcher per plate appearances in each of the last 4 full seasons. And coming into the weekend, the Longhorns ranked 5th nationally. Obviously, it's a smaller sample size, but still, that's really the footprint of what Schloss likes to do.
Well, you got to force the starters to throw strikes. You can get that does two things. One, it gets them out of the game quicker, and gives you a better opportunity deeper to count. The more you see pitches, the better chance you got to square one up.
Kimball Schuessler at the plate now. Swings to the first pitch, sends a fly ball out as it tails away, but the center fielder, Ross, able to make the catch since the ball was tailing away from him, and he's going away from the play on the catch. It's an easy tag and move to third for Flores. The runners on the corners now with 2 down.
Yeah, you saw what that wind's going to do to it. That ball started out nearly in straightaway center field and really tailed away and able to run it down. But see if you can come up with a big 2-out hit right here. You're going to be good offensively as a team. Got to find a way to get those big hits, and you can really, set the tone for this ball game with a 2-out hit right here.
Schloss talked about it in the pregame, saying that saw a couple of those opportunities go by the boards last night. So Tommy Farmer, the 4th, has the opportunity here, and he looks at the first pitch for a strike. Tommy was 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored last night. Farmer, a 6'3", 208-pound sophomore right-handed hitter out of Oaks Christian in Santa Monica, California. Looks at that pitch inside, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. Jalen Flores at third base, Adrian Rodriguez at first. Runners on the corners, 2 down, bottom of the first, with Texas in front 1-0. Here's the stretch from the right-hander Martinez. The pitch. Swung on, and that is through down the right side, of base hit. Scoring from third base is Flores. Rodriguez will go to third, throw coming in, and the ball trickled away. So a head-first slide with an RBI hustling double for Tommy Farmer extends the Texas lead to 2-0.
Well, those are just big knocks right there. Like I said, with 2 outs, now you sort of separated yourself. Now Borba with a chance to really have a big crooked number at the bottom of the first. They can come up with another knock, but a nice job by Farmer going the other way.
2 extra base hits this inning for Texas out of their 3 hits, and now Casey Borba, who has homered in back-to-back ball games, comes to the plate now. Borba batting .353 with those 2 homers and 6 runs batted in. 2 in scoring position, 2 home, and 2 out. First pitch misses downstairs to Borba. Casey, another native Californian, an Orange Lutheran at Santa Ana, 6'1", 210-pound sophomore right-handed hitter. Martinez trying to get out of the first here. Here's the pitch, and that one is in there for a called strike. And the count is even at a 1 ball and 1 strike. Borba not only has been swinging hot bats, been playing very solidly at third base. Here's the stretch from the right-hander Martinez, and the pitch is low. And it's 2 balls and a strike to Casey Borba. Lights are on here at the ballpark. An otherwise largely cloudless day. Sunny skies here. He swings here, and a little nubber off the end of the bat right to the mound, and Martinez will flip to first. 1-3 on the putout. The Longhorns are down in the first. However, Texas hops on top. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits. They strand a pair. We're through 1 complete at UFC Disch-Falk Field. It's Texas 2, Santa Clara nothing. Longhorn baseball continues in a moment.
Now stake to a 2-0 lead. Scoreboard totals are correct. No runs, a hit, no errors. For Santa Clara. For Texas, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Keith Mullen, Craig Way, glad you're with us. Wind is blowing out of the north, and it's going to cool off as the afternoon goes, but it is a gorgeous day right now.
Tate Metcalf, the designated hitter, will lead it off for Santa Clara. Metcalf batting .250, no homers. 3 runs batted in, and he'll dig in from the right side against Harrison, who needed 18 pitches to navigate that top of the first, but got out of it unscathed. Luke's first pitch is off the plate for a ball to Metcalf. Spells it Medicoff. Tate is a freshman from San Francisco at a Sacred Heart Cathedral Prep, 6'3", 220-pound right-handed hitter. Deep breath from Harrison in the pitch. Misses downstairs. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Metcalf, 1 out of 3 with a run batted in. last night. Longhorns took the opener 4-2. 5 shutout innings. The starting and winning pitcher, Jared Spencer, and Max Grubbs the final 4 innings to pick up his 3rd save of the season as that pitch misses low. And Luke starting the 2nd inning as he did the 1st, behind in the count.
We know the guy behind the plate. You do this as long as you and I've done it, Craig. You sort of know who's working the plate. He is not a guy that has a big zone. It's been a small zone. It'll be that way the whole time, and it'll be that way for both sides.
Yeah.
But he's just a guy, when you look at Angel Campos, it just has a smaller strike zone. I mean, that's just...
And it requires adjustment by the pitchers and by the hitters.
Yeah.
So Medikoff is aboard with a 4-pitch leadoff walk, and it brings the catcher Connor Smith to the plate. Smith batting 200, no homers. And a run batted in, and showing bunt and taking the first pitch for a strike. Connor entered the ball game as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning last night, and he was Smith to deliver an RBI single right over the head of Kimball Schuessler that brought in the 2nd run for Santa Clara. It lifts a pitch foul out of play down the right field line and onto the roof of the J. Dan Brown Family Player Development Center. Great crowd again here this afternoon at UFC Disch-Falk Field. Nearly 7,300 last night, 7,292 the attendance, and it should be at least that today. 0-2 the count. Pitch. Strike 3 called. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. A 3-pitch strikeout. Connor Smith. So Luke Harrison rebounds from 4 consecutive balls outside the zone to 3 straight strikes. And with a runner at first, he now has his first out recorded, his 2nd strikeout.
He dotted the eye on that outside corner of that pitch.
1 down for the center fielder, Max Ross. Ross batting .235, no homers. No runs batted in. And for the left side, or rather, give you the numbers for Ross. I was looking at Peyton Lambert's numbers as the pitch went outside. Ross is batting .239 as a homer. 8 runs batted in. He's drawn 6 walks and been hit by a pitch 4 times this season. He's also 2 for 2, so he's a threat if he gets aboard. Lefty-lefty matchup, and the pitch is chopped on the ground foul. Pass first. Max, left-handed hitting redshirt sophomore. He's from Woodside, California. Started off at Kenyatta College, 6'2", 295 pounder. 1-1 the count. 1 aboard, 1 out, top of the 2nd. Texas leading Santa Clara 2-0. Stretch. The pitch from Harrison. That one missed upstairs for ball 2.
I got underneath that breaking ball a little bit. Sometimes you can get out of balance, get a little bit too far out in front, and you can't get on top to really get that breaking ball to break down, and that's the one that stays up. Just got out in front of it a little bit.
2 balls and a strike to count to Max Ross. The pitch from Harrison. Swung on, and this one is hit a long way of a foul, and the wind will continue to push balls that way as well as it pulled foul.
Now, the one place it'll get out of here is right down that right field line.
So the count evens at 2-2. You saw that on Tuesday night. You and Roger did with the win over Texas A&M Corpus Christi with the balls that really rocketed out to right.
Those blowing gale.
Here's the 2-2. Hit on the ground, off the mound, up with it. Flores, a step on the back for 1. The relay, the first in time. It's a 6-3 double play. And as it turns out, Luke Harrison winds up facing the minimum in the 2nd. No runs, no hits, nobody left. For an inning and a half at UFC Disch-Falk Field, Texas leads Santa Clara 2-0. Longhorn baseball continues in a moment.
We go to the bottom of the 2nd, 2-0 Texas. It will be for the Longhorns 8-9-1 as they sent 7 batters to the plate in the first. Couple extra base hits, 3 total hits in the inning, turned into 2 runs. So 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 2nd.
Longhorns forced Victor Martinez to throw 27 pitches in that bottom of the 1st inning. Easton Winfield leads it off for the Longhorns and looks at the first pitch for a called strike. Winfield batting .208, no homers, and 2 runs batted in. Easton, a sophomore transfer from Alvin, down south of Houston. 6 foot, 215-pound left-handed hitter, began his collegiate career at UL Monroe, Louisiana Monroe, and looks at a pitch for strike 2. 0-2, the count to Winfield.
They have the shift on for him right now.
Indeed, a heavy shift. And the 0-2. And that's off the plate for a ball. The work for the Longhorns on the top of the first. The ball hit right to Mendoza, right where Malcolm Williams is playing right now. And shallow right as the second baseman. The 1-2. That's upstairs. We've seen a lot of coaches do this over the past few years. And pretty much, not 100% of the time, but pretty much they all follow the same plan. Here's the 2-2, and that's outside 3-2. And that is to swing the third baseman or second baseman to shallow right, but put the third baseman on the first base side of the bag and leave the shortstop to the third base side of the bag. The 3-2 swing and a miss, and Winfield strikes out for out number 1, and that's the second strikeout for Victor Martinez.
Well, you don't want to get weaker. So your third baseman is the third baseman. He's not a shortstop. So you want to keep your shortstop in that position and then put the third baseman in a position and allow the second baseman, who's used in the middle of the diamond, to back up. That's the right move. You know, there were times when we saw the third baseman go to that rover position.
Absolutely.
And then they figured out, well, why are we going to put a guy that more than likely is a corner infielder in a rover type position?
One down for Ryland Galvan, who's been swinging a hot bat of late. Ryland takes a pitch downstairs for a ball. Galvan batting .303, 4 homers, 14 runs batted in for Ryland from down along the coastal bend near the bay, the Corpus Christi area. Out of Sinton, 6 foot, 215-pound junior right-handed hitter. Looks at a pitch inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to Galvan. Ryland last night, 1 out of 2 and 2 walks, scored a run. And getting on base frequently as well. Shown a good eye at the plate. The 2-0, that's at the top of the zone for a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1. That's down and in, and it's 3 balls and a strike now to Galvan.
Yeah, and now the shift is on for Ryland, but you and I both know his power, and he hits a ton of balls to right field. That's not a guy that I would be shifting on.
The 3-1. Checked his swing. He did not go, and Galvan draws a 1-out walk. Ryland is aboard with the second walk issued here by Victor Martinez, and it's back to the top of the order to Mendoza, who led off the bottom of the first with a base hit to left, stole second, and scored on Jalen Flores' double.
Left-hander up and slightly tossing in the Santa Clara bullpen.
So here's Mendoza at the plate. And the first pitch to Ethan is there for a called strike. Just some stretching and not actual throwing yet down in that Bronco bullpen, but just going through the motion, getting stretched out among those guys is Tyler Alleman, who is the right-hander. That's a check swing downstairs for a ball. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Alleman, the right-hander, not yet actively throwing, getting stretched out. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count of Mendoza. That's down and in for ball 2. Wind is picking up and gusting. Mentioned out of the north, so be blowing out toward right. The 2-1 pitch from Martinez will be delayed as he throws over to first. Galvan, just 1 out of 3 on the base pass. Not a great threat to run, but he has been put in motion here early in the season a couple of times, 3 to be exact. So Mendoza back in the box. Galvan, a modest lead from the bag at first, and this is hit on the ground. Foul. Just cut right in front of the bag. The count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's been really difficult on the Longhorn hitters to stay back. I mean, Off-speed. What makes an off-speed so tough is when the pitcher has great arm speed with it, because you think it's going to come harder because his arm is coming fast, but the ball comes out like it's got a parachute on it, and you're out in front of it.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Mendoza. Martinez, the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, that's lined in the left center, a base hit. Galvan making the turnaround second, didn't hesitate for a moment. He'll move to third on the single. Mendoza, another one of those multi-hit games, and the runners on the corners with 1 out.
Stayed back, got one up in the zone, and boy, he put a really good swing on it. First one was a C&I single. This one was a rope.
There's now 7 multi-hit games for Ethan Mendoza over the last 8 games. Al Baloo will try to advance the runners. He struck out swinging his first time up. Max to plate. Broncos a double play depth. First pitch off the plate for a ball. As we mentioned, Max, first 11 ball games, had a base hit. Did not get a hit last night, but did reach base safely. So the streak is at 12 for reaching base safely for Baloo. The 1-0. That's there for a strike. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Martinez trying to work around some 1-out trouble here. That pitch misses outside. 2-1 to Max Baloo. Tough spot for Martinez here with a hitter like Baloo at the plate.
Well, he's got the meat of the order here, and the base runners all over the place. So it's a big moment right here. Texas can blow this thing open.
2-1, and that floats away for ball 3, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Of course, from the department of picking your poison, if he walks Baloo, you've got Flores at the plate with the bases loaded.
That's why you got them stacked up together.
Yeah. It is a right-handed hitter on deck, but still. The 3-1. And that bounces in the field turf, and no advancement other than the fact that it's ball 4 that allows Mendoza to reach second. Ball did not get far enough away to allow Galvan to score from third, but now the bases are loaded with 1 out for Baloo. For Jalen Flores.
Flores got one of those off-speed pitches up, ripped it to left field for a double. Big chance here, and I think we'll see some activity in the bullpen for real here soon, as there is a visit to the mound here.
And a migration down to the pen, as well as R.J. Mine, a right-hander, heads down, and others as well. Rusty Filter, the head coach, as we told you, a long time assistant coach there at Stanford, and handled the pitchers for Mark Marquis, and he makes all the mound visits, whether he's going to make a change or not. He's the one out there visiting with his pitchers. And so Rusty out there visiting right now with Victor Martinez, as the Longhorns have the bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the second and already up 2-0. Starting to stretch in a hurry is R.J. Mine.
Yeah, this is an extended visit. I mean, I've known Rusty a long time, so have you, and remember his days still. He is not a guy that puts up with walks. I mean, he wants you to swing the bat, make good pitches. That's the third walk issued here in an inning and a third.
Yeah, he's wanting strike throwers. So now Flores, who had the RBI double and scored last inning on Farmer's double, has strike 1 delivered. Third base, Rylan Galvan. At second, Ethan Mendoza. At first, Max Baloo. Bases loaded for Texas. Bottom of the second with a 2-0 lead. The pitch. And that's a strike. Well placed by Martinez, who's quickly ahead of Flores. 0-2.
Contact, got to put it in play here.
No balls, 2 strikes to count. Here's the 0-2, and that's upstairs. 1-2 the count.
Changed eye levels that time with the fastball. See if he goes back to something off speed, trying to get something away, get Flores out on his front foot, and maybe roll it over.
The stretch from the right-hander Martinez. The 1-2. Hit in the air. That's going to curve foul out of play. All the way out of the park on the Comal Street. Count still a ball and 2 strikes to Jalen Flores.
Fly balls to right, center, and right are going to be interesting all day long.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Martinez ready. Here's the pitch. And this is hit on the ground. And a flip to second. And no, pulled off the back. The run scores, all hands safe. Malcolm Williams throwback to Ben Cleary to try to get Ballou. Pulled Cleary off the back. And so on the fielder's choice, all hands safe. The Longhorns now lead at 3-0.
I would think there will be an error issued on the throw, but it is a fielder's choice. You're right about that. I think to get to second base, it's got to be a miscue.
So
let's see how they scored, but great. This chance to blow this thing open right here.
now Rodriguez at the plate. He walked last inning, looks at the pitch downstairs. It is a fielder's choice and an E4. An RBI for Jalen Flores. And the Longhorns now leading 3-0. That pitch is in there for a strike. So Blue stands at second base because of the error. Mendoza's at third. Jalen Flores on that fielder's choice at first. This pitch hit well down the left field line if it stays fair, and it doesn't. Boy, with the way the wind's blowing, you knew that had to be a screaming liner down the line to left.
Yeah, it was knocking it down because it's stronger with each minute. Now it's going from left field corner to right field corner. It's really pushing that ball down. But it'll help something going to right.
So the count is a ball and 2 strikes to Adrian Rodriguez. 3-0 Longhorn lead. They have 4 hits in the ball game. Santa Clara, no runs, a hit, and they just committed the error on the fielder's choice that allowed Ballou to reach second base. Here's the pitch. Popped up. This will be infield fly in effect as 3 infielders converge on it. It's Williams, the second baseman, who makes the catch on the infield fly, and it's out number 2.
It was not an easy play, but the one thing that you did know, and you saw both coaches on both first and third telling their players, you can't advance, don't advance, because the instinct is if you see a ball like that drop, is to take off. You got to know that the batter is out already.
So with 2 down, here's Kimball Schusler, who flied to center his first time up. Kimball, right-handed hitting grad student from Llano, out in Llano County, an hour to the west of us. Of course, began his collegiate career at Texas A&M. 6'2", 215-pound grad student. First pitch bounces in the field turf, and a nice stop by the catcher, Connor Smith, to keep it from getting away from him.
Second inning in a row, Texas has got a chance to really expand.
Here's the pitch. That one again in the field turf. Again, it trickles a few feet away, this time up the first base side. And Smith able to retrieve it.
Important pitch right here, Craig. 2-0, bases loaded, 2 outs.
There's the set for Martinez and the pitch. Outside.
Now you got to take. Maybe even 2.
Yeah. 3-0 the count to Schusler. Ethan Mendoza at third base. Max Blue at second. Jalen Flores at first. Bases loaded for Texas. Run home, 2 down here in the bottom of the second. The 3-0 taken all the way, and it is a strike, and it's 3-1 to Schusler.
And this is zone out hitting. Kimball likes the ball out over the plate. He hits the ball hard the other way. This is a good time to look for a ball out over the plate that you can stay inside of and drive the other way.
The 3-1 for Martinez. Swung on and the ball hit well to center, but right at the center fielder, Max Ross. He'll make the catch, and that'll retire the Longhorns in the second. Texas tacks on a run, and they do it with a hit, an error, and they leave them loaded. We're through 2 completes. here at UFC Udishfog Field. The score is Texas 3, Santa Clara nothing. Longhorn baseball continues
in the first inning, and then in the second inning, they left them loaded. So 5 runners left on base for Texas, but 3 across on the board. And it will be the 8 and 9 and 1 spots due for Santa Clara here in the top of the third.
Luke Harrison had a very economical second inning to get his pitch count back on track at 30 pitches through 2 frames. Now the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Broncos. The right fielder Peyton Lambert leads it off. Lambert a .235 average, no homers, no runs batted in, and looks at the first pitch sailing high and away for ball 1 to Peyton. Sophomore from Pendleton, Oregon, 6 foot, 180-pound right-handed hitter. He had 1 at bat last night, struck out against Jared Spencer, and then was replaced in right field by Luke Devine as he looks at a pitch for ball 2.
We didn't have a cloud in the sky earlier, just, what, 20 minutes ago?
Right.
Now it's totally overcast.
I said largely cloudless at the time. It was. Now there's largely no sun to speak of.
Yeah, it's blown in here.
Here's the 2-0 delivery. That's low, and Harrison has kind of ridden the roller coaster a little bit here early on, from heavy pitch counts and getting behind to getting some quick pitch outs. So 3-0 the count to Peyton Lambert. And Harrison dials in and delivers a strike. It's 3-1. Lambert, one of 2 or 3 guys you could see throughout the course of the weekend play in right field. Like we said, we saw Luke Devine last night as well. The 3-1, and that's there at the knees. The count is full, 3-2. Coach is still trying to, everywhere, including Texas, across the country, still trying to really nail down their everyday lineups as well as their pitching alignment. This pitch is lifted foul out of play on the first base side. It arrives in a hurry for Texas next week.
Yeah, you're a month in, basically a month of baseball. You can find your, what I call everyday guys, the 8 guys that go out there and play a position. Those are usually, get to it after this pitch.
3 balls, 2 strikes to count to Lambert, and the payoff, and that's fouled out of the way.
Those guys usually, they're playing enough that you know, all right, this guy's going to play here. If I want to rest this guy, I can play this guy at this position. But usually it still takes a while to figure out what pattern you're going to use the guys coming out of the bullpen.
Another 3-ball, 2-strike pitch from Luke Harrison to Peyton Lambert. And he, again, lines it foul. A nice catch by a fan with a glove, snagging that one down the right field line. That's why you bring a glove to the ballpark.
That's it. That's it. You know, you get yourself in position to be a starter or a starting pitcher, and if you're successful, you're going to get the ball.
Yet another 3-2 pitch to Lambert. And he checked his swing. He went around, and Lambert strikes out. So a nice recovery for Harrison after falling behind 3-0. 3 consecutive pitches fouled off on 3-2, and he comes back to get him on a check swing that he couldn't hold up.
Yeah, he went to an off-speed pitch. It wasn't a strike, but the speed fooled him and had the hitter out in front.
3rd strikeout for Luke Harrison. Here's Nico Olson, the 3rd baseman. Olson batting .267, no homers, no runs batted in. First pitch is off the plate for a ball. Olson. From the right side against the left-hander. Pitches downstairs, 2 balls, no strikes to Nico. Richard, freshman from Brentwood, California. Clayton Valley Charter, 6 foot, 165-pound right-handed hitter. Here's the 2-0 delivery from Luke Harrison. That's in there for a called strike. And it's 2 balls and a strike to Olson. Wind ruffling the jersey of the pitcher. Harrison delivers outside for ball 3, and again having a fight from behind in the count. It's 3 balls and a strike now.
Sometimes it's hard to keep your balance too when your pitching would win like this.
3 balls and a strike to count. 3-1, and that's inside for ball 4. Second walk issued by Harrison. It's back to the top of the order to Mateo Garcia, who grounded the second his first time up.
quite as sharp because usually very good strike thrower. And again, no excuses, but you have a guy behind the plate, good umpire, but he's got a small zone.
Like we said, both as the hitters, easier adjustment for the hitters with a smaller zone.
Oh, yeah, much easier.
And the pitchers have to make the adjustment. Here's the pitch, and that one is in there for a strike to Garcia. He back off speed, the first pitch.
A little modified shift here.
We do. With Borba still in the right. This ball's hit in the air to center. It's playable there for Farmer to make the catch for the second out of the inning.
We squared it up. That wind just held it straight up. I don't believe Tommy Farmer had to make a move out of his position. He just stayed right where he raised up and made the catch.
2 down. Ben Cleary had a single in the first, and Ben now has a 19-game streak of reaching base safely dating back to May 10th of last season at home against Loyola Marymount. 19 consecutive games for Cleary to reach base for the Broncos. Throw over to first. Speaking of Loyola Marymount, they're out of the West Coast Conference along with Santa Clara, of course. And they're 100 miles from the north of us playing Baylor this weekend.
Well, when I came through this morning, coming back from Big D, it was overcast and some moisture on the ground up there.
There's the stretch. Harrison a glance over to first, and he'll step and throw. Lions of LMU. Baylor won that game last night by a score of 9-4 at the Baylor ballpark.
It's a much improved baseball team.
Yeah, we figured Mitch Thompson would start to get things turned up there in Waco, and it looks like he's doing that. Now comes the first pitch to Ben Cleary, and he'll take it for a strike. Big 12 looked at as being a little more wide open this year. TCU may be the favorite there along with Oklahoma State, but both have had some struggles early. Pitch is fouled at the plate.
Red Raiders have been struggling.
Boy, have they. And Oklahoma State's had some uneven moments along with some nice wins. Same for TCU.
West Virginia's off to a good start.
Yeah, they are playing well. 0-2 the count. The 0-2 to Cleary, and he'll take outside. Well, we know how it is with the Mountaineers. You know, they're going to start in the sunny climes.
They do.
Many of those in Myrtle Beach or down in Florida. That's how it is. New era now with Randy Mazie having retired. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Cleary. And the 1-2. Downstairs.
That's a good take. That's a pretty good pitch right there with 2 strikes, change up, turn it over a little bit, get it go down and away, and just laid off of it.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Harrison ready with a 2-2 pitch to Ben Cleary. Fouled away.
Speed him up, slow him down. They came back with a fastball that time, and he's tardy on it. So now as a hitter, you're thinking, well, I got to turn it up a little bit. See if he doesn't come back something slower or off speed away from him.
Another 2-2, and it hit him. That one just got away from Luke and came in. And Cleary is aboard, so the runners at first and second with 2 down for Malcolm Williams. So Harrison just had that one.
Yeah, it's a breaking ball.
Yeah.
Tried to run a slider in on his inside and got away from him, caught him in that pad that these hitters wear now. It's still, you feel it, but it's not like it would be if you didn't have that pad on it. That's going to prompt a visit. They've had 4 base runners, Craig, and 3 of the 4 are free passes.
Well, it's pretty much a one-way conversation with Max Wiener, the pitching coach, and Luke Harrison. He's not looking at the other fielders. He's making his point with Luke about needing to throw strikes here. And
this is extended a little bit here, too.
Pitchers to a man have said how much they enjoy working with Max. What a job he's done with this group. So now ready to go back to the dugout. First visit marked down by the home plate umpire, Angel Campos. So with 2 down and 2 aboard, Malcolm Williams, who grounded the second. Well, or that was the one into shallow right that Mendoza played. And right now, Longhorns playing straight away, in the first pitch misses downstairs for a ball. Harrison ready with the 1-0 delivery to Williams. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes.
Creating your own mess here. That's the other part of the thing. When you go out and talk to them and say, look, they haven't hit you. You're giving them these base runners, and now if they get a hit, it's going to turn into runs.
2-0 the count to Williams. The 2-0. That one's in for a strike. Well, we talked about Luke being brave enough to throw that 2-0 breaking ball.
Yeah, it was a good one.
2 balls and a strike, the count of Malcolm Williams with 2 on and 2 out. The pitch from Harrison. Swing and a miss way out front of that one was Harrison, and was Williams. And Harrison now has even it at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now we got a time. We got paper coming across the end in front of the pitcher. They're going to let it, make sure it gets out of the way. They'll reset the pitch clock, and we'll go again.
I think it's a napkin.
Well,
they'll retrieve it, get it out of play.
It's howling.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch. Jammed him and he popped it foul. Back into the upper grandstand. So Harrison will try it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here's the 2-2 delivery. That is just off the plate. The count is full now, and everybody will be in motion here.
Huge advantage, but the outfield is shallow as it is. With the runner in motion, it's going to lead to a run on a base hit.
Runners off on a 3-ball, 2-strike pitch to Malcolm Williams. Swing and a miss. Harrison with a big strikeout to get out of trouble in the 3rd and come away unscathed. No runs, no hits, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's 3-0 Texas. Longhorn baseball continues in a moment.
They have no runs on a hit, have committed a miscue. 6, 7, and 8 due here for Texas in the bottom of the 3rd.
Tommy Farmer had an RBI double to score Jalen Flores, whose RBI double had scored Ethan Mendoza back in the 2-run 1st. So Farmer to the plate now. He's largely been playing left field, but in center field today. And last year, Tommy, in his freshman season, played both center and left. Victor Martinez back out there, and the first pitch is in there for a called strike. As Martinez delivers his 62nd pitch of the ballgame. That wind really howling out to right now. Pitch is low. Ball and a strike the count. We may see a lot more than just one napkin blown onto the field today.
There's some things stirring.
1 ball and 1 strike the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Out front of that one was Farmer as the bottom dropped out of it. 1-2. When you were playing in your big league career.
Candlestick. Oh, you were going.
I started to say, windiest ballpark had to be Candlestick, right?
Candlestick, no doubt.
Ball and 2 strikes to count. Here's the 1-2 pitch down the field.
Out on a point on San Francisco Bay. And Willie Mays hit 600 home runs there. Every time I would go there, I would shake my head and go, he's the greatest player that ever lived. He'd have played any place else but here.
Yeah. I still think he was the greatest of all time. And this is coming from a dyed-in-the-wool Dodger fan. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and the ball hit well out toward left, but the wind will knock this thing down in foul territory. So 2-2 remains the count. He would at least is mentioned in the upper tier and upper echelon as he, kind of invented the term 5-tool.
Oh yeah, well he was tremendous. He is. He's top 2 or 3 players that ever played the game. There's no doubt, but he didn't play in a ballpark that was conducive to being a great offensive player, and he was a great offensive player. He was a great defensive player too.
He was. And played those first several seasons in the narrow confines of the Polo Grounds in New York, where you had the short porch to left, but it was 483 feet to dead center.
And made one of the greatest catches in the history of the sport.
Yeah, it took that from the Holland Vic Wertz's drive, game 1 of the 1954 World Series. The 2-2. Downstairs, and the count was full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Okay, so Candlestick was windy, no doubt about it. I used to watch it. You spent, what, 7, 8 seasons with the Cubs?
Yes.
Okay. And
well, it's bad there, too.
Here's the 3-2. Swung on, a ground ball through on the left side, of base hit. Farmer got it right between third and short. Tommy's 2 for 2 today. He's aboard with a lead single.
See guys moving around defensively right now, and 2 caps. Well, the left fielder's cap came off, and the throw coming back into second base, the second baseman's cap came off. So it is a day where you almost got to put some things in it. This ball was ripped. I mean, they had the shift on it. It just pounded it through the shift.
So now Casey Borba at the plate. Grounded out back to the box. Back in the first inning. Martinez, throw over to first. Farmer 3 out of 5 on the base paths. And Tommy had that 3rd stolen base of the season last night. Here's the stretch. Another throw over to first.
Just one more story about Wynn and Candlestick.
Yeah.
I was catching, and we brought a reliever in named Warren Brewster, who was a good reliever for us in Philadelphia when I was with the Phillies. And his cap flew off and never touched the ground, never got above 10 feet, and stuck to the center field wall. I tell you, that's how hard it was blown.
Here's the pitch that missed inside.
It took everybody. 2 guys tried to get it while it was still floating in the air, and our center fielder had to go get it off of the wall.
The count is a ball and no strikes to Casey Borba. Farmer leads from first. The pitch down and in, ball 2. Obviously the most famous of those stories is, for the old timers who may remember this, fortunately I can say I was barely alive and did not know of it at the time, but Stu Miller blown off the mound in the 1961 All-Star game, called for a balk, blown off by the wind. Pitch is taken downstairs and is now 3-0. I was starting to say, when you played at Wrigley Field, and of course it's the Windy City, Chicago, I always remember seeing some of those daytime ball games on WGN, and you'd see all kinds of hot dog wrappers and things like that littering the field. The 3-0, a strike.
You had to ignore that because it was going to be there. Especially those late at bats when the stances, if you were winning or losing, people started to leave. And
those wrappers were flying. Off from first is Farmer. The pitch is a strike. The throw right on the money, and Farmer is out at second base. What a throw by the catcher, Connor Smith. And just like that.
That's a heck of a tag, too, by Malcolm Williams on the other end. He had to pick a short hop and make the tag all in one motion. That was a really nice play. As the throw comes out in a hurry, Smith gets rid of it. Nice pick. He picks that short hop and gets the tag on him.
The 3-2 now to Borba is downstairs for ball 4. So Casey reaches first base after Farmer was caught stealing. 2-4 if you're scoring. So Borba draws the 4th walk issued by Martinez. And Rusty Filter back to the mound.
I think he's going to make a move here.
He's had a couple of different guys warming up, and there will be a call to the bullpen. So our first call to the bullpen pitching change break here
in the Broncos, and it's R.J. Mine. who comes into the game. He's been used a lot. He's a 6 foot, 180-pound freshman in San Ramon, California. And he is making, Craig, his 6th appearance. That leads Santa Clara in appearances, 1-0 record, 5.40 earned run average. He's pitched 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned. Hasn't walked a batter, struck out 4. He has surrendered 2 extra base hits, including a homer, as he has thrown a wild pitch, and he comes on here as Santa Clara has to go to the bullpen in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Texas leading 3-0.
So R.J. Mine, who spells it M-E-Y-N, but pronounced mine, like yours and mine, is on for the Broncos. Left-hander slings it in, and he'll face the left-handed hitting. Actually, he's going to face Will Gasparino, who's come out of the dugout now to bat for Easton Winfield. I imagine we'll see Tommy Farmer move from center field to left, and Will go into center field when the Longhorns go back out into the field in the top of the 4th inning. So Gasparino, who did not start the ball game, now comes in to bat for Easton Winfield. The right-handed hitting Gasparino facing the left-hander R.J. Mine. Will, for the season, is batting .208, 4 homers, 14 runs batted in for Gasparino, a sophomore right-handed hitter out of Harvard Westlake High School in the Los Angeles area at 6'6" and 225 pounds. So Gasparino facing the left-hander Mine. And right away, a throw over to first to keep Borba close.
I think that's a balk.
And that's exactly what's been called. Rusty Filter asking for the explanation on it. And the home plate umpire, Angel Campos, tell him, do not come over to argue the balk. And he's saying, go back. And he said, I'm just checking on what it was.
Well, it's what he's saying. You need to tell my pitcher what he did wrong.
Yeah.
So that's the way you get away when you come out to say something, because you can't argue that call.
So, was a balk, and that advances Borba into scoring position at second base here with 1 out. So Gasparino at the plate takes the pitch for a strike. Here's the 0-1. That's downstairs. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mine works from that extreme third base side of the rubber, and Gasparino drives one. This is going to tail away from the outfielders and go into the corner. Easily scoring. Coming in to score will be Borba. Gasparino, pinch hit, RBI double to the gap, and the Longhorns now lead 4-0.
I stayed inside of that one. Boy, he rifled it into right center. This ball short hops the wall in right center. See his power the other way. Boy, extra base hits turning into runs.
3rd double of the ball game for Texas. 2 in the first, now 1 in the 3rd. And Rylan Galvan to the plate. He walked and scored his first time up last inning. So Gasparino immediately contributes with the RBI double. 6th hit of the ball game for Texas. A 4-0 lead for the Longhorns. Mine working to Galvan. The first pitch off the plate for ball 1.
I think that's Will's 15th RBI of the year.
It is.
Club.
And for Gasparino, not only his 15th RBI, that's his 3rd double to go with 2 triples and 4 homers. So he's had 9 extra base hits. Out of his 11, 9 have been extra base hits. The 2-0. That's a strike on the inside corner to Galvan. 2 balls and a strike to Ryder. The left-hander, R.J. Mine. From the belt, the pitch. Swung on and a ball hit sky high The wind will keep this in play, and unable to make the play, however, was the third baseman Olson. Normally, that's a ball that lands up on the concourse, or as Keith likes to call it, the midway over there, but the wind kind of kept it.
Oh, it did.
Within striking distance.
And it was bringing it back to the field of play, and Fan did a good job there. I mean, you're not supposed to reach for it, but there was contact right there, and Fan might have saved an out. It's one of those that you get a break.
And it's also a little bit more difficult to judge that because it's a low wall, a low barrier, as opposed to where you can see it clearly on the higher wall if a fan is reaching directly over the wall. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Galvan. Mine's pitch. Swung on in a high fly ball, hit the center, drifting back. Ross, now he has to drift over to the right as the wind pushes that way. Tagging at second is Gasparino. He'll move to third. They're 2 down, and Will moves to third base on the Galvan fly ball to center.
That ball was hit pretty well, too. It tells you a little bit what this breeze is doing.
Back to the top of the order to Ethan Mendoza. Mendoza 2 for 2. He has 2 base hits, stolen base, and a run scored. Mine trying to get out of this one, works from that third base side of the rubber and delivers a first pitch, breaking ball for a strike. From the stretch, the 0-1 outside, leaving the count of 1 ball, 1 strike. RJ Mine, the left-hander, delivers, and that's strike 2 called to the knees. 1-2 the count to Mendoza. Gasparino with the RBI double, standing at third base. Longhorns have scored in each at bat so far. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 here in the third. That pitch misses down and in, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 the count. Mine with the 2-2. Just catching a piece of it is Mendoza to keep the at-bat alive. Book now closed on Victor Martinez. He went 2 1/3 innings, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. He threw 69 pitches. Actually, he threw 75 pitches. 75 pitches thrown by Martinez. And now into the bullpen. The Longhorns have gotten into the bullpen in the middle innings as they did last night. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and the ball hit out toward left. It's being pushed toward left center, but closing on it was Mateo Garcia to make the catch and retire Texas in the third. Longhorns had a run. They do it on 2 hits with a runner left. Through 3 complete here in the middle game of the 3-game weekend series. It is Texas 4, Santa Clara nothing. Longhorn baseball continues in a moment.
We go to the 4th, third of the game in the books. 4-0 Texas. Texas has scored in every frame. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Have had an opportunity to really blow this thing open, but still a 4-0 lead. 4-6-0 for Texas. 0-1-1 for Santa Clara.
As we thought, Will Gasparino remains in the ballgame in center field, and Tommy Farmer, the 4th, moves over from center field to left field. All right, it's the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Santa Clara. Dylan Joyce, who's had 5 at-bats in the series so far, and all 5 have been swinging strikeouts. As he comes to the plate to face Luke Harrison, and the first pitch is off the plate. All right, every Saturday during Longhorn baseball season here at UFC Dish Field, on the here at the Dish, are what they like to call the traditions here, where they honor a former Longhorn great, and we have one with us right now as that pitch misses outside. So glad to have Calvin Giraldi join us, the former Longhorn All-American, most outstanding player in the 1983 College World Series, lifetime Longhorn, and of course, long and decorated Major League career as well, as that pitch misses outside for a ball, and it's 3-0. It's great to see you again. Calvin, how are you?
I'm doing great, Thanks for having me up here.
You bet. And 3-0 the count to Dylan Joyce. I'm going to start off with something, then we'll talk about some of the memories you have here. First, a 3-0 pitch coming to Joyce, and he is aboard with a 4-pitch walk. Did you like pitching on windy days?
I love pitching on windy days. Back then, the fence was further back and all that, so it's like throw it in there and see how far they can hit it.
Good point.
Yeah, because when he and I both played in this building, it was a lot bigger than it is today.
That's true enough. So Joyce draws the leadoff walk. The walk is the second one issued by Luke Harrison. Quick conversation on the mound. Galvan talking to him. That's another thing too. Some pitchers, they didn't mind it when the catcher went in and go on talk. How did you feel about that? If you issued a leadoff walk, you knew what you were doing. You just missed the spot, and the guy comes out to visit with you.
Leave me alone. I'm good. I know I screwed up. I'm all right.
Here's Medikoff at the plate, and he drew a walk his first time up.
Well, Calvin, I see you with a brace on. Talk to us about what you got going on. I didn't know you were wearing a brace.
Coaching first base is dangerous. An errant throw. I tried to dance myself out of the way of it and didn't quite work out for me.
I understand.
A ball and a strike to count to Medikoff. There's the stretch and pitch from Harrison.
Not quite as nimble as we used to be.
Getting old sucks.
Back in the younger days, Calvin led the Longhorns to 3 straight appearances in the College World Series, including that 1983 National Championship, the 4th title in program history at the time. Now, of course, they've won 6. Here's a pitch. That's just off the plate. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. You pitched in 7 games as a freshman. Did you know, even back then, having pitched in 7 ball games, what was there for you and what could be there for you if you could harness everything as that pitch is fouled back that was there as part of your skill set?
As an 18-year-old, probably not. It's like you're waiting for an opportunity, you do well, and then you get seniors and stuff keep going. It wasn't until my sophomore year that it kind of clicked in for me.
Here's the pitch to Medikoff. He swings here and hits a ball well. This one out toward left, and even the wind will just knock it down to the wall. It'll be a throw back into the infield of Flores. On most any other day, that's going to be out of the ballpark, Keith. That's a double off the wall, and the runner's at second and third with nobody out.
Well, that ball might have landed in Georgetown on any other day because it was absolutely smoked, and the wind did knock it down, but he got it all the way to the wall. Harrison again struggling, and I'm going to go to Calvin on this. When you pitch from behind, you put yourself in such a bind that you have to come in the middle of the zone.
You have to throw it down the middle. You got to work ahead. Working ahead is success.
Connor Smith at the plate. He struck out looking against Harrison his first time up. There's some movement around in the Texas bullpen. And Harrison trying to work through this, and now there's some throwing going on down there as well.
This will be a visit that they will write down as he walks out. Now, the other thing that was part of unique for you, this is your hometown. I mean, you were raised here, get an opportunity to play here. Was there any more, did you feel any more pressure because you've probably seen this place, been to this place many times as a kid, and then all of a sudden now you're pitching here?
I don't think so, because I grew up loving the University of Texas baseball, and that's what I wanted to do. So it was like I knew I was going to be here, and so that was my plan, and worked out pretty well.
You've seen this town change, haven't you?
God, this is ridiculous. I don't even recognize this place anymore.
Jim Schlossnagel's made a call to bullpen. We're going to keep it here as we visit with Calvin Giraldi here. It'll be Ruger Riojas who will come out of the Texas bullpen, and right now, done after a total of 68 pitches is Luke Harrison. So Ruger Riojas will come on to pitch for Texas. I mentioned your freshman year when you saw action 7 games. You said you started to figure it out your next year. I'll say 13-2, a 3.23 earned run average as a sophomore, and then the All-American Junior campaign, 12-2, a 1.86 ERA, and 101 strikeouts during the regular season and earned the most outstanding player honors, 2-0 with an 0.63 ERA in the NCAA tournament. What stands out to you the most about that 1983 national championship season?
The thing that I was thinking about this not too long ago. We played 80 games that year, and our pitching staff, we had 40 complete games. That's what I remember about it. You don't see that
play
anymore.
that many games in a college season, which that's when they started limited. After that's when they started limited the number of games you can play in a year.
Well, I think Coach Gus had it figured out because they only counted spring break as one day.
Yeah,
and so we played 19 games in 10 days.
And in those days, also to be fair, you guys could also play games that in this day and age a Division I program wouldn't play because it'd be an RPI killer. If you were to play a St. Mary's or even when Grand Canyon was a Division II school.
And Calvin will tell you, we had no off days.
Right.
There was
none.
And they had lights here, so the other thing is that with lights you could work out after that.
From 1 until Coach Gus got tired.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, Ruger Riojas steps in. Ruger comes on with a 2-0 record and a 4.66 ERA, making his 6th appearance of the season. He's worked 9 2/3 innings, allowed 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He's walked 1, struck out 11, given up just 1 extra base hit, a double. He's hit 1 batter and had 1 wild pitch. Opposing hitters batting .237 against Riojas. Ruger, of course, transferred in from UTSA. He's from Wimberley, 6 foot, 192-pound junior right-handed pitcher.
Now, you've done this as a starter and a reliever. What is the difference in the mindset when you come in as a reliever here?
Relievers to try to limit right now, to 1 run. And get an out right now, and go from there.
Yeah. Throwing strikes.
You got to throw strikes.
Relievers have got to throw strikes.
Ruger has that fastball in the mid-90s regularly. And the first pitch to Connor Smith is outside for a ball. Also has the slider in the mid-80s, the curveball, and a split. So it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. And there are 2 runners in scoring position for Santa Clara. That pitch is fouled back to the screen. If we remove the fastball from the equation, what was your favorite pitch to throw?
Slider.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And it commanded
he had a good overhand curveball, too. I faced it.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to Connor Smith. The 1-1. And this is hit on the ground. It'll get a run home, but as Calvin mentioned, they'll get an out. Throw to first by Flores to retire Connor Smith. An RBI ground out gets Santa Clara on the board. Medikoff moves to third. Joyce scores, and it's now a 4-1 ball game. So, as a pitcher at this point, you figure, okay, I got the first out, right? And then you're trying to dial in and see if you limit the damage only to a run.
Don't try to. I'm going for a punch out right here.
Here's Max Ross, who hit into an inning-ending 6-3 double play his last time up. And Riojas ready. And this is a little number off the end of the bat. Looks like he'll get an out without
There you go.
Without a run scoring. Nice job by Riojas fielding his position. You were a pretty good fielding pitcher, right?
I was okay. My fielding percentages were good. Not that I bounced off like Maddox or anything, but
I guarantee you, he played for Coach Gus. He knew how to cover first base.
we could cover first base. That is for sure.
2 down.
I know he was going to cover first base.
Peyton Lambert struck out swinging against Harrison his first time up. Now facing Ruger Riojas. With 2 down and a run home here for the Broncos. Top of the 4th, swing and a miss, strike 1. Ruger will throw that slider in addition to a fastball. As we mentioned, has the change as well. Stretch from Riojas at 0-1. According to that's in for a ball. Of course, everybody knows how you and Roger Clemens teamed up on that 83 staff, but you had other guys too that made a big difference on it.
Yeah, we had Mike Capel was there, made it to the big leagues. And we had some freshmen that Wade Phillips and Steve LeBay.
One pitch outside.
We had a really good staff that year. I mean, we had 4 12-game winners. Kirk Killingsworth,
12 games. I mean, 4 different ones. That's playing a lot of ball games.
2 balls and a strike to count of Peyton Lambert with 2 down. Riojas ready. And the pitch. Swung on ground ball, hit the third. Up with it. Borba. Throw across the diamond. Damage.
Great job.
Limited. Just like Calvin Schiraldi would have done. Hey, we appreciate you dropping by.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Good to see you.
Good
Calvin Schiraldi being honored part of the traditions here at UFCU Disch-Falk Field. A run on a hit and a runner left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Texas leads Santa Clara 4-1.
And find a way, second and third, 1 out. Did a nice job, did Riojas of coming in and getting 2 outs. A run did score, but
no, you were right. You had it right the first time. It was seconded. There was a walk and a double.
That's what I thought.
And then Ruger Riojas, you're right, did it exactly the right thing. Gave up an RBI ground out, but then got a comebacker and was able to get out of it on the ground ball to third. So damage limited to the 1 run for Santa Clara. And the Longhorns come to bat here in the bottom of the 4th with a 4-1 lead. R.J. Mine still the pitcher for the Broncos, and Ballou squaring the bunt, and that one kind of whistled in on him. He thought it hit him, and in fact, I think the umpires and Jim Schlossnagle are going to challenge it. I think he's asking those guys. They looked over to the dugout, and Ballou, who would much rather hit the ball, he'd rather swing the bat, but he's pretty convinced that the ball might have caught the rippling of the jersey.
Something of his body. I didn't see anything flash, but this is a challenge. They can use one of your reviews to take a look at this, and this is one of them that should be something we can see.
So they will they'll take a look at this right now. The call was that he was not hit by the pitch, but Max Ballou was pretty convinced that that was the case, that he was hit. And so they'll review this right now with Texas up 4-1 as Ballou the leadoff batter. Keith, you get a look at it here in full speed, now in slow motion.
Boy, if it caught a piece of his left knee,
yeah,
I didn't see it really ricochet from there. It would be his back knee.
Might have just ticked off of the jersey or the pant leg.
But you just can't. The one view we got to see on the replay, I didn't see enough evidence to say yes on that. This is taking a little while to take a look at.
So the umpiring crew will continue to do that. Hey, want to remind you, of course, tomorrow, finale of the 3-game weekend series. 1 o'clock first pitch, 12:45 airtime.
Turn your clocks forward.
Oh, yeah. Better set those clocks forward. In addition to the fact that it's a 30-game SEC schedule, which moves up quick on everybody. Daylight saving time has moved up very quickly on everybody.
Yes.
So set those clocks forward by 1 hour tonight. And here come the umpires. And that call will, it hit him. It hit him. And sure enough, I would think Max would not really point that out unless he was convinced of it, because he loves to swing the bat, but he'll take first base, and that's he's already extended his streak now to 13 games, reaching base safely from the start. Now he's aboard, hit by a pitch. So
Texas has scored in every frame, Craig, in the ball game, so good start here with a leadoff base runner.
Jalen Flores has driven in 2 of the 4 Texas runs, an RBI double with a run scored in the first, and a fielder's choice ground ball that got a run home, and there was an error on the play as well that kept the inning going, and the pitch missed upstairs for a ball to Flores. Blue, 2 out of 3 on the base pass, was looking into the dugout. Now will draw a modest lead, now edging a little further away from the bag. Here's the pitch to Flores, and he'll look at the breaking ball for a strike. One ball, 1 strike to count. R.J. Mine, the left-hander, and that pitch in off the shoe tops for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike to count to Jalen Flores. 2-1 the count. And the pitch to Flores. Inside, ball 3. Oh, mine has worked inside from the start of this inning.
Yeah. Good pitch to hit right here. He's not going to overpower you with velocity, so you got to see ball, stay through the middle of the field.
And he does foul that into the screen.
I like
for
that. You can tell he was standing in the middle of the diamond right there. Can't get pull conscious when the guy's not going to overpower you.
So it's 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. So with a full count, Flores digs back in. Here's the payoff pitch from R.J. Mine. And that's outside, ball 4. Hit batter followed by walk. Last night, Bronco pitchers walked 8 Longhorn hitters. They struck out 8, but they walked 8 as well. And today,
it's killing them today too.
Yeah, they have a total of.
They've walked 1 in every frame, and this one they've hit a batter and walked 1.
Yep, and so they've walked 5 batters in the ballgame collectively, and hit a batter as well. So it's 6 free passes, and here's Rodriguez. Runners go, double steal, and they will get it. How about that on the first pitch? Jim Schlossnagle on the top step of the dugout applauding his guys as Ballou takes 3rd and Flores takes 2nd.
Well, just nobody looked. Mine never came back and looked, and now we're having a meeting of the umpires. I'm not sure what we have here. They're going to review this on the play at third base. I thought Ballou was in easily.
Yeah, so did I. I'm not sure what they might be reviewing. Would it have been a pop-up and an interference type of thing?
He did do a pop-up slide, but I don't think there's no initial contact, no intent
right
when you're popping up.
For the moment, Max Ballou is at third base. Jalen Flores is at second on a double steal. But the umpires are going to review this. We're at the bottom of the 4th inning with Texas leading Santa Clara 4-1. So we're going to look at it now, Keith, on a review.
Yeah, he's definitely safe.
And he slid behind the third base. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, he does come off the bag with the, his back foot gets caught with the third baseman's left foot. And Ballou may be out because he came off of the bag, and that's going to be the case.
Yep, he caught the left foot of Nico Olson and is out.
Well, Olson did a nice job keeping the tag on him.
So it goes as a caught stealing. 2-5 if you're scoring, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes to Adrian Rodriguez. So Flores credited with a steal of second, but Ballou out at third. The pitch here, and that's in there for a strike, and it's 2-1 to Rodriguez. So 2 balls and a strike the count. R.J. Mine, the left-hander. Here's the stretch. The 2-1. It floats outside for ball 3, and it's 3-1.
Struggling with command this inning, but he has an out.
Rodriguez has walked and popped the second. Here's the stretch in the pitch, and that missed inside for ball 4. So after all is said and done, there's runners at first and second again, this time with 1 out. So it's been a hit batter and 2 walks wrapped around a caught stealing. And now Kimball Schuessler at the plate. Schuessler has flied to center and lined out to center.
You just get the feeling Texas has got to at some point take advantage of this and really put up a big number here, get real separation in this ballgame.
Schuessler at the plate now. One out. Runners at first and second for Texas here in the home half of the fourth. Reverse pivot, a throw back to second, and diving back to the bag at second base is Jalen Flores. Timing play there with the second baseman Malcolm Williams coming in behind the bag. Now from the belt, the left-hander Mind with a pitch, and it floats in for a strike. 73 miles an hour.
Just floated that one in there, didn't he?
It was a soap bubble. Just kind of glided in. Nothing in one, the count. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Swung on and the ball yanked foul a long way, and that one will go right to the top level of the seating down the left field line, right by the concourse. And it's no balls and 2 strikes to Kimball Schuessler. So nothing in 2, the count. Kimball digs back in now.
What a new baseball.
Schuessler steps back in now with an 0-2 count. And here's the pitch. And that's fouled away.
They were running a little game at first base. Adrian Rodriguez saw it, and so did Michael Cantu. As they were coming in behind, they're going to throw to first base. Nice job of being aware. Ball was fouled off, though.
Count still 0-2 to Schuessler. The left-hander, Mind ready. Another 0-2. Swung on and a ball hit out toward left, and having to draw the bead on it is the left fielder, Garcia, as the wind was kind of blowing it around out there, but Mateo Garcia makes the catch, and they're 2 down.
Ball just jumps off the bat right now, but anything going that direction is just, this wind is howling straight in. And as you said, you got here early this morning, the wind was blowing the other way when they took BP.
That's right, it was. It changed shortly thereafter. That's why you heard Jim Schlossnagle in the pregame say, when the wind arrives, and it will, we just don't know when. Or we told it to be about 3 o'clock. It actually got here a little before then. And it has really affected, and now Farmer's hit by a pitch. So there's been a hit batter, a walk, a caught stealing, a fly out, and now another hit batter. So the Longhorns have them loaded with 2 down for Casey Borba, who walked and scored last inning. So R.J. Mine is struggling now. Borba retired on the comebacker by the start of Martinez first, then walked and scored against Martinez in the third. So the bases are loaded with 2 down. The pitch to Borba. And that one breaks in for a strike. I want to text our good friend Tom Barfield, who part of the Baylor Bear baseball broadcast, asked him what the wind was like up there, and he said it's 25 miles an hour, pretty steady.
Yeah, going straight in over center up there.
Yeah, coming right off the brasses. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and a fly ball hit to center. Chasing it back. Ross can't get to it. It blows away from him. This is going to clear off the bases. Casey Borba, a bases clearing double to score 3. The Longhorns take advantage of the wind, and they now lead it 7-1.
Ball came off, and I mean, it started slicing. Ball was hit well to center. It had some thump to it. Just misplayed, and not sure he'd get to it if he turned right, but he turned the wrong direction, and then the adjustment by the time he got his head around, no chance to get to it, and there's that big blow that the Longhorns have been looking for.
So it's a 7-1 lead now for the Longhorns. Yeah, that thing just veered off like one of my drives off the tee, that slice that just tails away when I'm trying to hit it straight. RBI, bases clearing double, and boy, Gasparino was almost hit on the feet. Would have been the 3rd hit batter of the inning. So the free pass is really hurting Santa Clara throughout this series now. All three of those, 2 walks and a hit batter, come home to score. Pitch misses inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
You just can't defend the free pass. There's nothing you can do. You can't use your defense. And then all of a sudden you get a big blow, and Texas got it right there.
2-0 to Gasparino. And he takes that for a strike. Will pinch hit for Easton Winfield back in the 3rd inning, last inning, and delivered an RBI double. That pushed the Texas lead to 4-0 at the time. Santa Clara with a run in the top half of this inning, the 4th, but the Longhorns have answered with 3. And that missed inside to Gasparino. It's 3 balls and a strike. So 3-1 the count. The 3-1. Inside ball 4. 3 walks, 2 hit batters. Wrapped around the bases clearing double by Borba. 3rd walk of the inning, and that may well be it for R.J. Mine. It will be. So we will have a pitching change break, a call to the bullpen. Here in the 4th, the Longhorns have played at 3. It's Texas 7, Santa Clara.
Big inning. Well, Casey Borba took care of that. Into right center. 3-run double. Texas now with a 7-1 lead.
Rusty Filter likes this young man. The lanky freshman right-hander, Andrew Haberman. He did walk in an inherited runner last night, did Haberman. But he got a strikeout, or managed to get an out to get out of the 8th inning on the fly ball out after he walked Max Ballou with the bases loaded. He got a fly ball out to right to get out of the inning. He threw just 7 pitches last night. So now Haberman comes on to face Rylan Galvan, who has walked and scored and flied to center. 2nd ball game in a row. The Longhorns have 8 free passes. 8 walked last night. In fact, they had 9 free passes. There was a hit batter by Gomez, the starter last night. So they had 9 free bases. They have 8 today, counting the walks and the hit batsman. First pitch misses downstairs for a ball. So Galvan steps back in. Out of the stretch, Haberman with a 1-0. And laying off is Galvan. It's outside. 2 balls, no strikes to the count. Rylan digs back in. The pitch. That's a strike on the inside corner. 2-1. Casey Borba, the 3-run bases clearing double this inning to score Jalen Flores, Adrian Rodriguez, and Tommy Farmer. Flores and Rodriguez both walked. Farmer was hit by a pitch. And Gasparino with a walk. So runners at 1st and 2nd with 2 down. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Settle back now and make contact. Took a shot right there with a big swing.
Two balls, 2 strikes the count.
Shorten up and put it in play. I say that a lot, but you just got to make that adjustment.
Pitch is up high. They throw back behind the runner, and that was close. Back to first base is Gasparino, but the back pick, and it was close.
Well, they tried to run it earlier, and this time Gasparino, they want to review this again. Take a shot, and looking at the review,
thought we'll beat it back, but it's certainly, I guess, going to be worth a review here to see. And Will did slide in. It depends on the camera angle. We see can't tell where the tag came on the back leg, and we can't from this angle tell it. It just depends on if there's an angle of that right now. So Haberman trying to stay loose. We saw the catcher Connor Smith throw out Max Ballou and also Tommy Farmer. He's thrown out 2 would-be base stealers. one at second, one at third, and now trying to get one at first.
Yeah, and this one would be at a crucial time. Trying to really separate 3 on the board in this inning, and still a couple on. Long review. The one view we had, here comes the call now.
We only saw one view. That does not mean that that was the only view available. It's the only one we saw. And, well, 2 umpires came out. There was no indication. They're talking to Rusty Filter about it right now. I would say they're probably going to say they didn't get it.
Or this, no more reviews in the game. Something may have come up. I tell you what,
I think that's what it is. I think you're saying he's out of challenges now. Because remember, he challenged one earlier.
Safe at first.
Yeah. So Santa Clara out of challenges now. And the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ryland Galvan. A full count to Galvan. Runners will be off here on this 3-2 pitch with 2 down. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Galvan strikes out. So after all is said and done, the Longhorns come away empty-handed there, but not before they scored 3 runs on the big blow, the double by Casey Forma, and their 2 runners left on base. We're through 4 complete. It's Texas 7, Santa Clara 1.